Wow, what are you doing here? I asked as we arrived at the housewarming party for Bertie and his wife. Ashley opened the door and greeted us. Bertie and his wife decided to build a house for their future, and since we're close to them, we helped with the down payment as a sign of support. Ashley knew about this and that we were invited today, but her reaction was surprising. She smirked rudely and said, "Well, if you insist on entering. My name is Susanna, a 46-year-old housewife. I live with my 50-year-old husband, Edwards, and our 25-year-old son, Bertie. Edwards and I have been married for 26 years and still celebrate our anniversaries, maintaining a good relationship. Edwards and Bertie work together at a major automobile company. Bertie introduced us to Ashley, a lovely young woman from his university, and they are planning to marry. We had been worried about Bertie's lack of romantic interest, so we were happy and blessed their union, even though it felt a bit early. Ashley soon joined our household. We lived in a rented house near Edward's parents, but it was cramped for two families. That's why Bertie and his wife started planning to build their own home. We decided to help them with this big step, as we couldn't afford to give them a house like in TV dramas. We wanted to help with the house purchase, so we provided some money for the down payment. At first, Bertie refused, but with our persistence and Ashley's agreement, he accepted our contribution. Ashley was very excited about designing and planning the house. She always seemed happy and in good spirits during the meetings. A few months later, the house Bertie and Ashley bought was finally complete. Thanks to Ashley's planning, the house was finished with all her preferences in mind. Bertie invited us, saying, "We have built a really nice house, and we would love for you to come and see it." So, Edwards and I headed to the new house. Just before we arrived, Bertie messaged us, "I'm out to buy a cake since we forgot one. Ashley's there, so please go in first." I laughed at his usual forgetfulness, but agreed. When we arrived, the gate and garden alone showed that a lot of thought and effort had been put into the house. Even to an amateur, it looked like a well-designed and impressive home. When I rang the doorbell, Ashley answered. From the doorway, I could see vases and a living room sofa from well-known high-end furniture brands. Even though Bertie works for a good company, I couldn't help but worry if they were stretching their budget too much. Ashley opened the door, but she didn't seem welcoming at all. She looked down on us with a creepy smile, seeming like a completely different person from when she lived with us. Her expression had changed dramatically. "What are you here for?" she asked. We were stunned into silence. Ashley sighed and laughed mockingly. When I meekly replied that we were invited, she snorted in displeasure. "If you want to enter so badly, there's an entrance fee of $300, she said, repeating the words entrance fee. Ashley smirked. "Don't you understand? If you want to come into the house, you need to pay. After all, to me, you're just unrelated outsiders. I'm not letting you in for free." Ashley sneered. Edwards and I exchanged glances as she let out a vulgar laugh. Then, with an angry glare, she spat. "Don't act so high and mighty just because you contributed to the down payment. This is our house. I really hate it when outsiders interfere." Ashley's rant left us speechless. It was shocking to be called an outsider by someone we had lived with and considered family. Despite Bertie's initial refusal, it was Ashley who eagerly accepted our generous contribution to the down payment. We never meddled in their house decisions. We just listened as Ashley passionately discussed her preferences. "Are you going to pay or not?" "I'm busy, so hurry up." "No, we won't pay. Tell Bertie we left," I replied, barely able to think straight. Although Ashley had always said, "Let us properly thank you once the house is complete," her current attitude showed she now saw us as disposable. As we turned to leave, Ashley slammed the door behind us. We sent Bertie a message explaining what happened. It wasn't long before he arrived at our house with Ashley. Bertie apologized profusely as soon as the door opened, while Ashley stood with her arms crossed, looking sullen. "Wait, don't come in here," I said. "Ashley, it's hastily made, so forgive its roughness." I stopped Bertie and Ashley from entering, then presented a piece of paper to Ashley. She read it with a puzzled look. "A contract. Yes, if you insist on charging outsiders an entrance fee, we don't want such a stranger in our home either. We'll waive the past entrance fees during your stay with us. So will you sign this?" Ashley took the pen and chuckled as she signed the handwritten contract. "Do you think this bothers me? I'm rather thankful I won't be paying any entrance fee, so I'll have nothing to do with you all." Bertie held his forehead and looked down as Ashley signed without hesitation. Afterward, Bertie continued apologizing. "Your apologies don't solve anything," Edward said. "Every couple is different, and while I don't want to meddle, Ashley's behavior and your inability to stop it is a problem." Edward's words seemed to hit hard. After that day, Bertie rarely came home. We stayed in touch via phone but never fully cut him off. We had no contact with Ashley, and a year swiftly passed. One day, the doorbell rang. When I opened the door, I was surprised to find Ashley, whom I hadn't seen in a long time. She looked upset and out of breath as if she had hurried over. "Didn't agree to this. What's the meaning of this?" she exclaimed. It turned out we had recently moved. Soon after we became estranged from Bertie and his wife. A friend of ours, a successful entrepreneur who owned several businesses and properties, approached us to buy their house. They were looking to downsize their assets due to their age. The house, stylish and reflecting our friend's unique taste, was hard to sell despite their other properties selling quickly. It was difficult to let go of this house due to its location and distinctiveness. They implored us to buy it at a bargain price. We had always wanted a detached home, but had given up due to land issues and the fact that Edwards, being the eldest son, would eventually need to care for his parents-in-law. So we had been renting a home near the in-laws. However, the situation changed drastically with Bertie married and out of the house. Edward's siblings agreed to take care of the in-laws, lifting a huge burden from my shoulders. Our friend's vacation home, which we were asked to purchase, wasn't too far from the in-laws. We were familiar with the area and neighbors due to our long friendship. The distinct taste in the home's design didn't bother us, so we decided to buy it. We immediately sent our consent to the friend, who was delighted as they had struggled to find a buyer. They offered us the entire house contents, suggesting we could sell anything that didn't suit our taste to fund new purchases. All the furnishings were from a high-end brand that our friend adored, from sofas to small dishes. Though known for its high cost, a little research showed that the items still fetched a considerable price. We sorted through what we needed and what we didn't, selling some to supplement the home buying funds, and brought in our previous belongings. The move was swift, thanks to our friends and Edward's siblings. The new home, full of unique features, filled us with excitement. We casually informed Bertie about the move. Ashley stood on our doorstep, demanding, "I want this house. Let's swap homes." However, we didn't give out our new address and specifically mentioned to Bertie not to tell Ashley. Despite this, it seems she learned of it from neighborhood gossip and looked up the house herself. The furnishings left by our friend were from the same brand Ashley adored, and she figured this out. We hadn't even given Bertie the new address yet, but Ashley found it on her own. "I had no idea you were moving to such a luxurious house. Those are my favorite brand of furnishings. It's not fair. Swap your house with the one we built. It will surely be better for you," she demanded, making disjointed requests. Ignoring my bewilderment, Ashley tried to forcefully enter the house. In a rush, I presented the contract she had signed earlier. "If you step 1 foot further, you will have to pay." That was the agreement. I said, demanding an entrance fee as she had done to us. Ashley was furious when she realized the hastily signed contract was now binding her just as she had demanded entrance fees from us. I refused her entry until she paid, causing her anger to erupt. She kicked the entrance door and attempted to force her way in, shouting loudly and attracting the neighbors' attention. Amidst the commotion, Bertie arrived running at full speed. "Calm down, Ashley. Making a scene won't help. Let's go back home," he pleaded. Strained by Bertie's calm demeanor, Ashley yelled and hurled insults at me. She glared at Bertie, accusing him childishly of deceit. "You say it too. I married you to live a work-free life surrounded by my favorite brands, not to have in-laws living better than us. If I knew I would be this miserable, I wouldn't have married you," Ashley revealed, her unbelievable thoughts in a tirade. Shocked by her harsh words, we were about to intervene when Bertie gripped her shoulder. His usually mild demeanor was gone, replaced by a stern resolve. "I've been thinking maybe I shouldn't have married you either. We need to talk," he said firmly, dragging the still flailing Ashley back home. Confused by Bertie's uncharacteristic firmness, she was pulled away. I wondered if they would divorce and soon thought it might be for the best. Ashley's rant revealed her shallow intentions. Bertie called later to apologize and within 2 months informed us they were divorcing. It seemed Ashley only valued Bertie for his income, boasting about her influence in their home designs and enduring it as a favor. Despite contemplating immediate divorce, Bertie faced the reality of their new home's mortgage. Bertie insisted Ashley find employment and worked overtime, desperately trying to save up for the divorce. However, Ashley showed no signs of job hunting, instead withdrawing money from Bertie's savings for her shopping. When confronted, she claimed to have earned the money by charging friends an entrance fee to their home, which they paid, mistaking it for a housewarming gift. After repeated demands for entry fees, friends distanced themselves, leaving the house guestless. Ashley then audaciously set up a toll booth outside, demanding passers-by pay to use the road. The police were called after neighborhood complaints, leading to a massive argument between Bertie and Ashley, where she continued to blame everyone else for the situation. Finally, Bertie decided to divorce, deeming further discussion with Ashley futile, and reached out to her parents to explain the situation and his intention to divorce. Ashley's parents were reasonable and understanding individuals. "We are deeply sorry for our daughter's inexcusable behavior." Ashley's parents apologized repeatedly and promptly arranged a meeting to discuss the situation. When Ashley initially lashed out at Bertie upon her parents' unexpected visit, they quickly subdued and reprimanded her. When the topic of divorce was brought up, Ashley became hysterical, but her father restrained her. Her parents agreed to take on the responsibility for the settlement debts and sorting out the new house. Still furious, Ashley was forcibly taken home by her father. "I thought it would be embarrassing to rely on my wife's parents, but if I knew things would settle so quickly, I would have asked them sooner." Bertie looked exhausted as he spoke. I gently patted his back, acknowledging all the hardships he had endured. Several years have passed since Bertie's divorce from Ashley. Ashley is now living a far cry from her dream life, working part-time at a supermarket checkout and other back-end jobs she once looked down upon. Trying to pay off the debt her parents took on for her, she conveyed to Bertie, "I would like you to repay a part of the debt," pleading tearfully and sharing her own hardships alongside her request. But he firmly told her that she must work hard and pay for herself, as it was her own doing. Despite the ongoing challenges, including dealing with a persistent Ashley and even contacting the police, Bertie is now happy. A female colleague supported him throughout the ordeal of handling Ashley's stalking and his own distrust of women. Though it took time, Bertie became optimistic about marriage again and has since remarried the supportive colleague. They now live in a small apartment, saving up for a new home. We are relieved to see Birdie finally regaining his smile.